What's going on, guys? My name is Jiffy Nano, and welcome back to Borderlands 3. A while ago, I put a video of me running through the proving grounds with a Amara Melee build. An Amara Melee build. Wow, I cannot talk today. And because I ripped it right off my stream, I didn't actually go over my build. And my modifiers, if I remember correctly, were all negative except for I had plus 70% elemental damage. But I've had a couple people ask me what the build I was using was, so I'm going to go over it real quick right here. So we'll go over gear in a second. So I was using Phase Slam. I was using, I can't remember which Phase Slam I was using. I think I was just using regular Phase Slam because it's the fastest. But this is the spec I was using. I had 3 points in the personal space for this, plus a calm that gives me extra, so I have 60% bonus damage depending on how close I am to the enemy. I have 4 points for some health regen into clarity. I have helping hands maxed out for damage reduction. Mindfulness, this is literally only so I can move faster. This gives me a lot of movement speed, and you can even hurt yourself with like a low level grenade and deal damage to yourself and give yourself some insane movement speed. Find your center for increased melee damage. This is getting an extra point for my class mod too. This is a big bump, and it's pretty much necessary for a melee style build. But yeah, 200% melee damage and a whole bunch of melee range. I can hit things from kind of silly distances with a punch, so this is necessary. I've got 4 points into one with nature. This is just so I can go down here and grab these. 4 points in one with nature, more damage reduction, max health. This is mostly for damage reduction. Jab cross, whenever Amara deals melee damage to an enemy, she gets action skill damage and increased gun damage. This is just to help, like, I punch something and then I can shoot it. Gives me, I think I have 18% gun damage. And this will stack with my weapon. There's some weird things going on with the gun that I'm using that's stacking damage numbers and stuff like that. Guardian Angel, so I can get a second wind, so if I go down, because I'm going to be in the enemy's faces at all times, I need some kind of insurance policy, and that's what this is. And then Blitz, melee override. Whenever I melee, I can dash a short distance, dealing a special performed melee strike, dealing elemental damage. This is super strong. This gives me another 100% melee damage on top of the other things I'm stacking, so that's super good. And then in this tree, I have 5 into infusion. This will make it so my weapon is dealing a 40% of my equipped my equipped action skill element, which is the fire right now. And I've had some other things stacking with that. That just makes it because, like, the face puncher, which is the shotgun that I'm using, only comes in non-elemental, so this gives it some bonus damage against certain enemy types, stuff like that. Anima for the increased status effect. This is just nice if you end up lighting something on fire or dealing elemental damage and igniting them or something like that. They take a lot of damage. Tempest, which just increases your elemental damage. This is like every build that she has needs this because it just gives you a 30% damage boost. Illuminated Fist, this makes it so my melee damage is converted to my action skill element. This is one of the skills that makes her so strong. So if you're fighting flesh targets and you've got fire on, you're getting this plus 75 melee damage. All the melee buffs in this tree, plus the boost, plus like the passive buff that elements get towards their the type of health they're strong against. I've got 1 point into wildfire, so I can get down to indiscriminate. Indiscriminate just is super good. It clears rooms super fast. This ricochet damage is really strong because it can light enemies on fire and stuff like that. I don't really care about the action skill ricochet because they have to be phase grasp or stillness of mind, but this helps me clear rooms. And then I've got 2 points into sustainment for my last two. I put this in here just so I have a little bit of sustain, because the health regen from clarity isn't super good, but this will help keep me alive a little bit longer. So over to the gear. We're using the deep dive face puncher. This is the shit one. You want the redundant face puncher, and you want hopefully more than 6 in the magazine. The redundant face puncher doubles the pellets you get in the shot. This one has 6. If you get the redundant one, it gives you 12. That's just more damage. And this is the only gun that I'm using through most of the time. You can use something like the butt plug or something like that, which gives you more damage from behind. But I do not like having to run around enemies and like get behind them. So I'm just using the face puncher and melee. These 3 guns are literally only here for their anointments. This gives me 300 weapon damage when I phase slam, which weapon damage and melee damage stack with the face puncher. So it's getting 300% melee weapon damage when I phase slam. This is because when I phase slam, I get melee damage. So I'm getting 300 plus 200 melee damage to my face puncher. And then this is also melee damage. Anointments do stack, and you don't have to have the gun out. As long as each anointment is different wording, they stack. So because this is phase slam specifically, I get 200% melee damage, and this is action skill end, I get 100 melee damage. Melee damage. Now I'm using the Brawler Ward literally only for 300% melee damage. The 25% weapon damage is nice, and the health regen is pretty nice as well. But you want this shield to be broken at all times. I'm also using the Flurrying Solitary Breaker. This gives me damage reduction based on the distance to enemy. The closer the enemy, the greater the bonus. This synergizes really well with personal space, because you're going to get more damage as you get closer, and then this gives you damage reduction as you get closer. I don't have a very good roll on here. The only good stat I have on here is the 50% melee damage, but I do have the better skill increases. And then the grenade I wasn't using at all, but the artifacts I swapped depending on what I needed. I was using radiation. For shield breaking, because I think I had negative shock damage or something like that. But I also was using this Moxie's endowment for corrosive damage. I wasn't using the planetoid. I don't have it on me, but I was using this for fire damage. I also have a static charge, which when you slide it builds a static charge. It deals shock damage. That was for shock damage as well, but it's got a crappy roll on it. A lot of people were using a lot of people like to use the Breath of the Dragon, which I didn't have at the time, and at the time it was bugged and I couldn't get it. Is when the rare spawns wouldn't drop their things. But yeah, so the whole idea here is I would go in, punch, phase slam. My game is chugging like crazy, and wow, Jesus. And the way, if you get like a good rhythm going, where you melee and shoot your gun, you can get a good rhythm going where you get this like 1-2. God, why is my game running so badly? This like 1-2 punch going on, and then they die pretty damn fast. And as you saw in that video where I did the thing, it was, I killed that boss in like 6 hits. But this particular one, the white elephant has a chance to put bombs on the enemy. And because the face puncher scales with all your melee damage and does everything that your melee would do, the face puncher also has a chance to stick bombs to the enemy, and it's damn near like guaranteed, I swear. So like this was the build that I was using. I've also been doing stuff with like a elemental build, which I might do a video on later, and I need to actually put more time into other characters. I've been having way too much fun with Amara's melee and elemental builds, but she is super fun. It's super strong. Like, look at that 100k melee whole like shot. That's ridiculous. And then the bombs will blow up and kill him. But yeah, so that's my Amara Melee build. It's not great. It's not perfect by any means. I could have done better with stuff, and I didn't know that the Breath of the Dragon's fire dot scaled with your melee. I didn't have it at the time either. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and let me know in the comments what other games and videos you want to see. If you like my content and want to see more, consider subscribing and clicking the bell, so YouTube actually shows you my uploads. And check out my Twitch channel where I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday afternoons. I play Borderlands, other stuff. I'm going to play the new Call of Duty when it comes out, maybe Destiny. So check that out. The link will be in the pinned comment because YouTube doesn't suggest videos with Twitch links in the description now. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next one.